Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. It's Wednesday, which means it's brand new comic book day, and new comics are hitting the shelves all across the world. You can get them digitally, you can get them physically, you can get them any way you want. It's new comic book day. It's pretty awesome like that. In my hands, one of the releases coming out. This is House of Whispers #1, the latest release for Vertigo's relaunched Sandman Universe. This is kind of it's an interesting first issue. So it's written by Nalo, Hopkinson, illustrated by Dominike, Stanton, colors by John Rauch, letters by Deron, Bennett, cover by Sean Andrew Murray, and variant by Bill Sienkiewicz. Edited by Molly Mann, associate editor Amito Turuturo, and assistant editor Maggie Howell, executive editor Martin Doyle. Alright, so I've done the review of Sandman Universe #1, the kind of the book leading up to the relaunch of Vertigo Sandman Universe. I did a review of The Dreaming. Sandman Universe #1, didn't really like it. Dreaming kind of had the same issues with Sandman Universe #1 in that I generally had no idea what's going on and felt that since I haven't read the Sandman Universe or the Sandman stuff previously, I was at a massive disadvantage going into it. Neither, I think, did a very good job of explaining what's going on and why I should care, this universe kind of as a whole. So, thankfully, one of our commenters on YouTube made a comment about House of Whispers is really coming out fresh, and you don't need to know much about it. So, I went in reading this hopeful that would be the case. I'm going to have my little cheat sheet here. Hoping that would be the case. And while it is easier to understand, I'm still not completely sold on it, mostly because I do feel like there's probably stuff tied into the Sandman Universe that I don't get. And this is the cheat sheet that Vertigo sent, explaining it, and like right away, it kind of builds to that. So it says new corner of the Sandman Universe will be explored next week in the all-new House of Whispers. We discovered to whom the house belongs. It introduces a new house into the Dreaming. I have no idea what the hell that means. That alone puts me at a disadvantage. So it's welcome to the house of Dahomey, the houseboat of Urzuli Freda, where the souls of voodoo followers go when they sleep to beseech the flirtatious tragic goddess to grant them their hearts, desires, counsel on their futures and fortunes. So it goes from there, like, all that makes sense. I feel like I've seen all that before, whether or not it was in Shadow Man from Valiant or something else. Like, it is familiar reading this comic. There's aspects of the comics I swear I've seen before, whether or not it's in a comic, television, movie, something like that. And on the surface, the general story seems kind of cool. It seems like there's this this journal gets opened up, and then there's like issues that can happen between the spirit world or dreaming world and reality and all that. Like, I kind of get that. But really, like, the bigger picture and beyond that, I'm a little just, I don't know what it's one of those, like, if I was tripping balls on something and, like, watching a horror film, this probably would make way more sense. It's just, there's just something that's not clicking for me. I have a feeling once I read maybe the second, third issue, I'll get a better idea as to what the hell's going on. But reading this first one, like, again, it's just not super clear for me. I think these are great concepts, but as far as a new reader, there's a bit of a hurdle that feels like is part of the Sandman Vertigo universe that is just not new reader friendly. That being said, like, if you like the idea of voodoo, if you like that sort of exploration, it's cool. Like, out of the three things so far, this is my favorite. I could get through it a lot easier, and I generally understood more of what's going on, but they're still just concept characters I don't really know, and don't know if I should know them at this point, and this whole thing of, like, the houses and all that, like, that's completely over my head. So, reading it, I still felt disadvantaged, which kind of takes some of the enjoyment out of it. And so, basically, like, it could have been maybe a hair new reader friendly, maybe tweak some things here and there, just so it doesn't quite as feel like it is tied into maybe the Sandman and that universe as opposed to taking place in it, if that makes sense. The art is interesting. Like, it's not quite as trippy as I'd expect it to be. It's cool, but, considering it takes place in, like, New Orleans, is that it? New Orleans. And like voodoo's at the center of it. I expected much more of like a horror vibe to it, much more of kind of like that Mardi Gras party sort of aspect to it, and there's a little bit there, but it's actually somewhat reserved from what I would expect. I think the visuals in the dreaming were trippier than this, which is kind of fascinating. I would have probably inverted them and think this was trippier in like a horror sort of way, but no, like I kind of read it and I was like, there's some cool visuals in it, but nothing really struck me as being very like voodoo New Orleans. So out of the three, this is my favorite of the series of the Sandman stuff that's come out, but none of them have really captured it to the point where I'm super excited to read more of them. I'm going to read more of them. I want to see where they go, but I'm still very skeptical about it all. I think part of it is probably because I just haven't read the stuff before, so I'm coming in pretty blank, and as I said, I feel like there's a hurdle there for new readers. So yeah, like, again, if you are a longtime reader of Sandman, I think this is for you. If you really dig voodoo-type stories, then you'll probably enjoy this. Maybe, like, horror, you kind of dig it a little bit. But for me, like, meh. You can go get this in comic shops today, though. You should go support your comic shop first and foremost. Always support your comic shop. There's a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code. It'll tell you if a shop's near you. No shop, no problem. We got affiliate links as well. They are affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage. I want to thank DC for hooking us up with the review copy. As always, appreciate your support, and thank you for watching. If you're into Vertigo, if you're into Sandman, if you're into comics in general, you can check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy. Keep it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.